that those little errors that we find where we pass. You find there is a heap because they don't have access to clean water, and it trickles down to the health system. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Unity Platform promises to offer access to good roads. We find that out of the 1,500 plus roads that we have, I think it's 153,000 kilometers worth of road network, only about 6,338 kilometers are paved. That is only about 3.9% of the total road network in Uganda. But even out of that 3.9%, 20% is in good conditions. We have seen the roads that you use. We did the pothole exhibition. Ladies and gentlemen, you saw that we have lakes in the middle of roads. When we speak about our railway system, we don't even have a gauged railway system. That out of the entire railway system, only about 321 kilometers are operational. And from where we saw videos of our own train moving backwards, and everyone was saying, where is it going? But we know that in developed countries, trains are the quickest and easiest means of transport that they actually use. Trains can improve our road transport. Trains can be used to carry out trade from region to region, but that is not what we see in the current Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, when we study about the history of Africa, Uganda, when we constructed Entebbe International Airport, it was the largest international airport in East Africa. And that was before Mr. Museveni took over power. He takes over power 40 years down the road, and Entebbe International Airport is the only airport that we have. Yet it was the biggest in East Africa. We now admire Kenya, we admire Tanzania. But I mean, what are they doing? I have forgotten to tell you that when Magufuli took over power, he paved over 5,000 roads in 5 years. 5,000 kilometers of roads in 5 years. And Mr. Museveni has done that in 40 years. What more evidence do you need for you to say that it is now for us to have a new and better Uganda? People power. Dr. Nalukwagwe Judith nzize kubabulira mu Luganda so that bajjajja bange ab'Masaka wa Kigungu bategeere n'ab'Mawokota ab'Emikono muliyo musiibye mutana mu bibina okutegeera. Bannange Dr. Shamima annyonnyodde mu Luzungu naye katuddeko mu Luganda. Ngenda kwanguyizaako kubanga obudde butukutte. Public service mu Uganda population yaffe eri miliyoni 48. Nga tugenze maaso tuprojectinze mu mwaka 2026 population ya Uganda egenda efuuke miliyoni 16. Ne kwezo miliyoni 16 abasinga kwabo ebitundu 7 bagenda kubeera bakozi. Kitegeeza Uganda oba government erina okwetegekera ekiseera ekyo. Bwe tukyetegekera tetugenda ku developinga. China yetegekera ekiseera ekyo. Singapore yakyetegekera ndowooza mulaba gye bali. So nga ntandika mu public service tunayo ebyobulamu, ebyenjigiriza, amaanyi g'amasannyalaze, amazzi amayonjo. Tulinayo enguudo, tulinayo eggaali z'omukka, tulinayo ebisaawe by'ennyonyi. Tugamba tuliwa nga Uganda biseera bino. Mu Uganda tulinayo districts 82 ezitalina malwaliro. Ate nga tulina ne sub-counties tezirina health center 3s. Banange health center 3s watandikira obujjanjabi mu system ya health mu Uganda. Naye ebyalo oba sub-counties amagombolola 1,600 tegalina health center 3s. Kamba buliyo ka story tawaddeyo nga tugenda nga tuva Emityana tugenda Ekyankwanzi ku campaign trail ya president. Netusanga health center 3 nesalawo okikozesa okweyamba. Unfortunately yabadde abandoned. Tebuli basawo n'abalwadde bali awo tebalina abakolako. Bwe nageze mu toilet okumanya zibadde abandoned. Nasanze ennumba Mr. President ennumba nezinnuma. Era ennaku ssatu mbadde siri campaign trail kubanga mbadde ngezaako okuwona. Naye ebyo bye twagala okukolako nti tewali health center 3 mu government ya His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu ejja kubeera abandoned. Nga tugenda maaso Mwami Museveni alina emmotoka ezimutambuza 600. Si 600, si 600, wabula 600. Naye mu Uganda yonna tulina ambulances 178. Bannayuganda lwaki gavumenti eno tesobolako? Bino twagala okukyusa.
nga tugendako mu bya enjigiriza. Ndi musanyufu nti nno nze nzaaliddwa abasomesa era nasomerako mu ssomero lya UPE so mmanyi ekiriyo ate nga bazadde bange baakolanga lesson plans nga nange ndaba kirabeka kyenva bazaala omuwala omugezi naye tugende mu maaso. Mu byenjigiriza omwana oba buli mwana mu Uganda bamuwa $2,000 buli mwaka. $2,000 buli mwaka gisobola kukola ki bannayuganda? $2,000 tekisobola kugula na kalaamu oba kugula peeni mu mwaka oba mu ttaamu egi oyo omwana n'asobola okusoma. Mu gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi tugenda kwongeza funding mu UPE schools. Ekirala ekisinga obukulu bano abaana bagenda ku ssomero bambi ne bamala essaawa 8 nga tebalina kye balidde. Tetugenda kukkiriza ebyo mu gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi. Mu gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi buli mwana ajja kufuna emirimu at least emu buli lunaku basobola okonsentratinga mu kusoma kwabwe. Ekirala abasomesa beekalakaasa. Ekisooka tebamala kubanga bw'otunuulira staffing rate y'amasomero mu Uganda gali ku 34%. N'obutamala abasomesa era nze maama wange yasomesanga mu ssomero lya gavumenti naye ng'asomesa subjects 3. Lwaki omusomesa omu bamubadde ninga okusomesa subjects 3? Buli subject erina okubeera n'omusomesa. N'ekirala abasomesa tebabasasudde bulungi. Kyobola abeekalakaasa mu Uganda empya tewajja kubeerawo kwekalakaasa kuba abasomesa bajja kubeera ne ssente ezimala era tujja basasula bulungi. Bwe tugenda ku ky'amazzi baganda bange abasinga mulwala typhoid temumanyi bino ebintu gye biva kubanga bannayuganda abasinga tebalina mazzi mayonjo kyokka nga tulina agayanja ga Nalubaale tulina kyoga byonna tubirina mu Uganda naye ensi nga zi Saudi Arabia ezitalina nnyanja sirina amazzi amalungi ageyagaza naye wano mu Uganda tetugayina. Lwaki tubeera mu gavumenti bwetyo? Ne tugenda ku amasomero ebitundu 68 ku 100 tebirina mazzi. Amalwaliro ebitundu 44 ku 100 tebirina mazzi. Lwaki eddwaliro libeerawo nga terina mazzi? Bwe tugenda ku bya enguudo Dr. Shamimba agambye nti tulina network y'enguudo omutwalo 15 nekoje omutwalo 15 kilometers nkakaaga zokka zenkole ate nga NRM yakakolako kilometers 14. Imagine emyaka 4 kitegeeza buli mwaka bakola kilomita 10. Incompetence of this government. Tetugenda jikiriza mu government empya oba mu Uganda empya. Nga tugenda maaso nti railway abasinga ddala bazadde baffe abasingako obukulu bazadde babo batambuliranga mu gaali y'omukka naye kati nze emyaka gyange okulaba ku gaali y'omukka ninagenda bweru wa Uganda tekigenda kubeera mu gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi. Ebyo byonna tugenda bikyusa mufune gaali y'omukka ng'osobola okubeera wano e Kampala yabeerayo omupiira mu Hoima City ng'olinnya high speed train ng'etutwala ddakiika 3 watuusedde walabye omupiira wakomyewo. Uganda empya ne tubasuubiza. Ekirala era ebidiridde okusemba amasanyalaze n'amazzi. Amasanyalaze ga bbeeyi. Uniti y'amasanyalaze ya $1,000. Ngenda mu saluuni okunsiba enviiri okunnaaza bunaaza omuviiri omukyala wa saluuni n'angamba maama amasanyalaze ga bbeeyi nange nina okugjako ssente nnyingi naye nga lwaki mbeera nsiba enviiri za ssente nnyingi nga lwaki gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi tejja uniti y'amasanyalaze ku $1,000 n'ebiteeka ku $500. Ekidomola ky'amazzi tugenda kukijja ku nnusu 120 tukiteeke ku nnusu 10. Bannayuganda mugenda kunyumya Uganda empya. Ate nga nokonekitinga amazzi n'amasanyalaze bigenda kubeera byabwerere gavumenti enegenda dukolako. Ekisinga obukulu airport. Mukimanyi loopu waffe ng'akyakulira Kosase yavaayo n'abalaga nti mwezo waliyo abakyala bataasoma be baaweeja emirimu. Abataasoma bonna tugenda bagobayo. Kale baasoma omugigi naye biri ebitabo bye twogerako bonna bataasoma tugenda bagobayo tuteeke abantu abasobola okumanaginga air transport yaffe so that buli region wabeereyo airport nga munnayuganda asobola okubuuka n'avaano nga bwekiri e Kenya. Ababaddeko e Kenya mukimanyi abantu bavuga okuva e Mombasa ne bagenda e Nairobi ate a low cost bye betwagala mu Uganda empya. Bannayuganda nga mmaliriza mukimanyi tubyogeddeko sente za health zigenda kwongezebwa tugenda kwongeza sente funding mu government hospitals ate n'abaana baffe bajja kulyanga emmere ey'obwerere buli lunaku. Neyanzisa nnyo people power our power.
Thank you so much, Dr. Judith. In conclusion, here's what the new Uganda promises. with the National Unity Platform, we are saying that our health centers are going to be increased. We are going to increase funding in the healthcare system to about 25% or even more, considering what was promised in the Abuja Declaration that said if the health system must improve, at least 16% of the national budget must be dedicated to the health system. We are going to recruit doctors 16 times more than what we have at present. And we are saying that every health center 3 must have a doctor. And we are going to triple other healthcare workers in the new Uganda. In the new Uganda, the funding for the education sector is going to be increased. We are saying, why should our teachers be struggling? Yet we have a lot of money. We have over 10 trillion that is stolen to corruption every year, but our teachers do not have enough salary. We are saying that connection to the national grid for electricity is going to be free of charge. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not have to buy electricity poles anymore. You do not have to pay for the wires to have electricity in your homes. We are going to remove value-added tax on electricity bills. We are going to make sure that businesses and domestic users of electricity, where SMEs fall, do not have to pay VAT. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make sure that every village has 10 water sources, clean water sources, and all town councils and municipal councils must construct toilets that will be accessed for free, ladies and gentlemen. I feel so bad when I go to Kampala and I have to look for a toilet and I pay, yet it is even dirty, but they are going to be free of charge in the new Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a railway that connects all the 4 regions in Uganda. Why should it take you 8 hours, 12 hours to come from here to Yumbe, yet you can use a train and get there in 4 hours? Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make sure that we have regional, international airports. These Entebbe airports that you see, we are going to put down and we lift very new, good-looking international airports. And there is no reason why you will have to come from Ntungamo to Entebbe to board a plane to Rwanda. You understand? That is what we are saying. We are saying that in the new Uganda, you will not have to struggle for anything. We shall make sure that whatever it is that you need as a public service is available to you. People power. Our power. Kunga Uganda Kunga. Thank you so much.
From what you've heard, do you want more of the same or you want change? You already have a clear picture of what is going to be in the new Uganda. And we are not just saying we are going to do these things, we have people who are going to do these things. I'm sure you're confident that these young ladies and doctors are capable of delivering what they have just promised. That said, before we welcome our alumni to perform the skit, we shall first have a surprise artist, Felisa the superstar, is going to sing and perform for us. Thank you so much. DJ. Azora. Oi.
Yani
Uganda empya era nja kweyagala nnyo. Thank you so much for that. We are going to have one more presentation and then we'll have the skit. At this point, many of you have been asking, because in our manifesto we have told you we are going to create 10 million jobs, and many of you have been saying, how is that possible? I think most of you have gotten used to governments which don't create jobs. I'm going to welcome Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi to present on the issue of unemployment and how we are going to create jobs for you. Thank you so much.
People power, our power, NUP, President Kantwayo Mukisogwenjawulo okukulisaayo mu Greater Mubende ne Greater Luweero. Bale bumukuliseeyo kyabadde kyabadde yakikoze. One, let me start with a simple philosophy in managing an economy. It is akin to going to war. Because quite often, after all this struggle we are in to remove a dictator, and our president, after swearing in, he will be just occupying momentarily a certain hilltop, but it will also define how far the climb has been and how steep the next journey to end unemployment, to create a better life, to give our people better opportunities. It will just be a beginning of a major struggle. Now, like any other war, developing an economy entails taking over what we call commanding heights. Commanding heights of an economy starts with, I only mention two that are very relevant. A commanding height of an economy, the first one is an emergency of an enlightened elite class in a country. I'm using the word enlightened, not people who have gone to school. An enlightened elite class is aware they must live simple so that their people must simply live. They do every sacrifice. They have a command of duty, responsibility, commitment, sacrifice, patriotism, and the courage to ensure they deliver a nation. The second commanding height is an emergency, a skilled, which they've talked about, of a skilled, healthy, working human resource, for which people have talked about health and education. Another commanding height is peace. When I talk about peace, I'm speaking about durable, predictable, peace that we take for granted, not an absence of war and gunshots. Once you have that peace and stability, then you have occupied another commanding height. But in the role of that peace is the role of the military for which most militaries in Africa fail African presidents. The military complex, other than waging war, is the gatherer of strategic information and direction of a country. They have a duty to unflinchingly speak to a president, no matter how difficult, to tell the president that what you are doing is not right, change the direction, take a new course because of the future of our country. Now, our military think all they do is to consolidate and the presidency. Another commanding height, of course, is finance and banking, which I'll leave. But my role was to demonstrate to you that you can create 10 million new jobs. I think that is an understatement. In Tanzania here, they have demonstrated, starting with the Magufuli, that in 5 years you can transform a country. The young man, the general, in the friend of the president, who has demonstrated that in 3 years just you can transform a country. We are sure with the National Unity Platform, with the discipline of the National Unity Platform, it will take us 2 to 3 years to put Uganda right and begin a new course. Not just to give you peace and stability, to give this country a heritage of an ever-improving destiny. I'm speaking about the heritage. Countries change forever. Good leaders don't change countries momentarily during their regime. They give them a basis of an ever better life for their citizens. And it is possible, starting with Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu and the National Unity Platform. Will it be reinventing the wheel? No. Nations start from somewhere. America was given an opportunity by one man called George Washington. So was India. China was given an opportunity by Chairman Mao and others. Singapore by Lee Kuan Yew. And so many other countries. So I have no doubt, and I've worked with our president closely. I have no doubt he will deliver Uganda the promised land. So be out there, and all you have to do is to go out 4 months from now, 2 months, and vote. Now, this is what we are going to do to create jobs. One, we are going to leverage tourism. Tourism has the potential to create new jobs in Uganda. And let me speak about tourism. Tourism today does not mean the presence of crocodile and lions. For you to have a tourist destination, you must improve all the things the Salims have talked about. Infrastructure, have peace, have better roads, have communication, have better hotels. Once you do that, tourists will simply come, even without branding. So you don't need to. There must be roads without tanks and tear gas. There must be respect for human rights. Every time you put Edimutwe in a basement, you are discouraging 1,000 and hundreds of thousands tourists. No one wants to come to a country where people are put in a basement. It can't. Every time you see jam on Kampala Road, you are discouraging tourists. So, today people go to Dubai. Are there dinosaurs in Dubai? Are there lions in Dubai? Are there valleys in Dubai? Are there rivers in Dubai? It's because they have done a first-class infrastructure. That's what our government will do. The second thing we shall do to leverage is to create an industrial sector that can create jobs. An industrial sector that can create jobs will be the one that has a backward and forward linkage. Backward linkage is an industrial base that will be built on our comparative advantage, which is agriculture. And when you build an industry on agriculture, two, we are now getting a new comparative advantage. We are one of the richest nations in mineral potential in the world. From oil to uranium to gold to tea to everything you need in Uganda we have. How very fast shall actually the thinking in the other sector of the economy is if we had developed our industrial sector, our mineral sector faster, we would never have needed to borrow to develop the oil sector. Therefore, we are going to fast track a huge industrial complex based on our mineral resources, on our agricultural resources, on our fish industry, on everything we have, and create hundreds and millions of jobs for our people. We are also going to do where our presidents come from. He has been speaking about the 4 A's. Okay? The arts, the academics, so we are going to do a sports and the arts industry that will deliver Uganda. And we can tell you today, a 1 billionaire that has joined the billionaire rank this week by Forbes magazine is not an industrialist. Is a one man called Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a footballer. How many Cristiano Ronaldos can we have in Uganda? You see a young man like Alan Okello. Had he been given opportunities years back, that one would be a billionaire in the making. We have artists that are doing so well. We've just seen a young girl here performing so perfect. In another world, this younger girl instantly will be a millionaire in terms of millions of what? Dollars. They won't be performing in illegal. No. And there you need a right law, corporate law. You need a law that protects artists. You need a law that ensures that they earn from their talent. And that law, Mr. President, in the next 200 days of our parliament, we will put that law in place. So once you do those best things, then other things simply fall in. So our promise for a new Uganda is a Uganda that will ensure you have a heritage of prosperity, not for now, not for our children, it will be for infinity and beyond. And with those few words, I thank you. I am requested to translate what I've talked about in Uganda briefly. Ensi yonna National Platform bwemala okuwangula egenda ku lutabaalo olw'okubiri. Olutabaalo olw'okubiri lwe lw'okukyusa obulamu bw'abannansi. Okubatta mu mbeera embi gye mukooye tugende mu mbeera ki ey'okwesiima. Tetubagamba mbu twatwanirira mu nsi muno mubeere baavu. No! Ekitulwanyisa bannayuganda mubeere baki bagagga nga muli mu bulamu obukola ki obwesiimisa nga temusula na sweki. Wano mu Uganda abantu basula n'ebinyonyi. Wano mu Uganda abantu basula n'ente. Abantu mu Uganda basula wamu n'embuzi nga temuli mu nyumba za nsiisira. Ng'obudde bwe buziba tekitegeeza kizikiza, kitegeeza ekitangaala obukulembeze obulungi obulala bwe bukikuwadde. Ng'abantu abagala okuba obulungi muli buki bulungi. N'olwekyo olutalo bwe tuliko lwakuba buki bulungi. Kubanga tukooye embeera ki embi. Ebyo okubifuna wano wammanga tulina bikola. One, wateekwa okuvaayo abakulembeze abaagala eggwanga lyabwe nga ddala mweyo gya ggwanga. Ekyo kitegeeza si bakulembeze bannabyabufuzi bokka, nammwe mwenna bagaani. Olikaawo, oli simanyi oli community development officer, oli Nancy, oli headmaster, working a permanent secretary in our government. A corrupt one, pack your bags nga tetunnasimbula. Olumala okulagako tolente limujini you're corrupt. Please, just run away. Kyagulanyi atuuse kiboko ya uchafu. Kiboko ya uchi. N'olwo gwe tuleeta kiboko ya uchi. Buli alimutate kobeere speaker ojja kgenda, kobeere ane kamanda ojja kgenda, kobeere nga gosandisa asooka okweba permanent secretary simawaki abali mu office eyo musibe ttayi tubaviira ku nguudo tubawa emotoka empya tubasasulira insurance. Please obuvunaanyizibwa bwammwe bugenda kuba kolera ggwanga lyaffe n'abantu baffe. Ne political class will be required to do that. Political class itegereza buli omu okuva ku president, genda ku kansala, genda ku w'omuluka, genda ku gwe kaada futu soja. Tokola ba futu soja, genda mu gavumenti ng'osuubira tinaawe olifuna omukisa okubba essente z'eggwanga. Ekitutwala mu kino kwenswalinya nti abaana baffe n'ensi yaffe tubawa ekyobusika ekyaleero ekyenkya ekirivaawo abada tugende mu nsi ey'essanyu okwesiima okuba obulungi okweyagala okufa nga tetukolima lwaki twazaalibwa n'abaana n'otuka okwegomba okufa. Njabawa story batwala Luzira maximum prison mu bya popular resistance nensangayo omwana omuto baali bwe ya young boys nembabuza lwaki babakutte ne bangamba wane Luzira wotulese muwanga wotusanze twesiimika okuba wano dana okuba ebweru. Nembabuuza lwaki ne bangamba tiwano mukomera tuli ashiwadi ekyeggulu kyakawunga naye weekiri. N'olwekyo ekkomera bwe nabasanga they were happy to be in prison because they will be assured of supper and dinner and shelter. That's not the Uganda we want. Ky'omwana omuto ajja preferring okusigala mu kkomera dana okubeera ebuki ebweru kubanga eri mu kkomera afuna ekyeggulo oba ekyemiki ekyemisana. N'olwekyo tugenda kutumbula ebyobulambuzi nga tutandikira ddala ogamba nti buli kimu ekikola obulambuzi tukiteekamu ssente ezeetaagisa tusobole okuleeta abalambuzi baleete ssente bazireke wano nga ebaba mu Uganda tebeeralikira tiyagasi, tebeeralikira kukwati batwalibwa mu kkomera, tebajja kulwa mu infrastructure. Actually e Malaysia waliyo tourism police. Abalambuzi be bajja e Malaysia okuva ku airport ng'oli mulambuzi mukifeedamu kadenge zino ezitwala balupembe ng'oli mulambuzi nga tukutikka nga tukuyisa mu traffic jam mangu nga tukutwala mu hoteli ennungi ng'osasula ng'abaana baffe bafuna emiki emirimu. Instead wano emmotoka za poliisi zitambuza balupembe bagenda mu ofiisi kunyaga ssente zaffe. No, those pickups will be picked from you tuziwe twice zibanguye okutuuka we tubagirako ki rupiya. Ekyo kinaaba kibi. Tugenda kuzimba amakolera gannamaddala. Amakolera gaffe gagenda kukola kyebagamba kusinziira ku maanyi n'ebyobugagga Katonda byakola ki byatuwa. Mu Uganda bannange buli kimu tukiina. Mawulire tetulina okubeera wano tewali yazza leero nga gavumenti oba ow'eggombolola yamuwadde mmere waliwa wano waliwo eyazze ng'omwezi guno yafunayo akawunga ka gavumenti nga yafunayo omucere gwa gavumenti. Noti ensi asobola okweriisa olubuto tekitwala myaka 3 ena kugitereeza. Sebo president myaka 3 bwekiti mujja kubeera mu ggwanga eddala sino lyemukozere ki lyemubaddemu nga n'ebyenfuna weebiki bitangaavu. Kokola ekyo tugenda kukwata ebyobugagga mu ttaka ku nnyanja. Tugenda kuzimba amakolero nga gasobola okuliikiriza oba galiikirizibwa obuki obulimi n'okwongera ssente mu byobulimi. Tugenda kutumbula ebitone by'abantu bonna mu Uganda asobola okudduka bwe kanya okugulunyweza, asobola okuwa ebikonde naawe nyweza ebikonde, asobola okuyimba bambi teekamu amaanyi, asobola buli kyosobola okukola kiteekemu amaki amaanyi. Anti Kyagulanyi ajja. Abantu mweka abateetaaga Kyagulanyi namweka mbabuulire mwe ababbi abagayaavu abatukaleeti ku mirimu ono gwe tuleese kibooko ya bucafu. Kibooko ya buki ya bucafu. National Unity Platform is a train for disciplining Ugandans and delivering for a better country. I thank you. God bless.
Deputy President, bw'awulidde ebigenda okubeera mu Uganda empya afunye akakisa okubeera wano naye otegeeze buli omu ky'owulidde wano leero era abantu mu baganda bali those who have given up empapula bazikubeko enfuufu Uganda empya empapula ezo zigenda kuba za mugaso kati buli omu azze wano ky'owulidde tegeezaako munno asobole okutegeera ekituluniridde Uganda empya. Having said that, mujja kutukkiriza tuweeko omukisa alumni ba School of Leadership baje baperforming on the skit. The people power! Our power! People power! NUP! And everywhere! Ladies and gentlemen, that's the way we never mukirize. Mbategeze nti yebera official campaigners aba flag bearers NUP. Oshegede mulungi kakati listen very carefully to the good news, ladies and gentlemen.
To the oppressed, to the mothers who put bed on hospital floors, to the parents whose children have been seated at home for close to a month. This is the good news. In less than 2 to 3 months, we are entering a new Uganda. People power!
Our power!
Our power!
People power!
NUP!
Everywhere!
People power!
Our power! People!
Kunga Uganda, kunga! Kunga NUP, kunga! Kunga is a system like kunga! Kunga, kunga, so kunga!
Musajja ate oyokya akabonero ki akuli ku presidenti ku MP tulonda ngatto abe awo boyokya.
The system was jammed.
No,
How do you leave such an able leader?
this gentleman here uliriza oyokya mpaka oyokyeza osirisiza. This guy here, we know him. He competed for the party card. He was not given that chance. And then you decided to run independently.
I have been in the party for so long. Yes, to the party. I've worked with the president everywhere.
My friend, we had trust in you. We trusted you. You know the money. You know the party ideology. You know everything. No, shame there for you. Our power.
NUP!
Everywhere.
Everywhere!
The flag bearer is here.
Hello, comrades.
Yes.
My name is Honorable Gologolo. And I am the flag bearer of Kamvule East Constituency. Good. I am here to tell you about my manifesto.
Before even the manifesto, Gologolo do! Honorable Gologolo do!
My first thing I'm going to do as a Honorable Gologolo is to make sure I supply sugar. I'm going to make sure I supply salt. Everybody will have salt in their homes. I am the rightful honorable, and I'm giving you sugar and salt.
Honorable.
Listen, then the other one I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I give you rice. Now, Honorable,
What is that?
that is my beautiful manifesto.
I see. I don't know. Relax.
Yes.
You are the flag bearer of NUP.
Yes.
My friend, NUP has a very strong manifesto.
Are you sure?
You don't have to feed it around looking for what to say to tell people. Just listen. There is a very strong manifesto. Don't worry.
Our manifesto has priorities. Priority number 1, restore freedom, constitutionalism, rule of law, and our party, everything.
Leader, manifesto.
Honorable, I want to tell you, our manifesto has priorities. Priorities number 2. We want to end corruption and wasteful expenditure. We're going to have a lean clean and efficient government. MPs twagala abiri, ministers twagala abiri, MPs twagala kinana, district twagala zikendeza. Honorable. Yes. We are going to have in a new Uganda, we are going to consolidate national unity. We are going to rebuild communities and eliminate sectarianism. Manifesto. Listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the new Uganda that we the citizens of this beloved our country are claiming for now.
Yes.
National Unity Platform Manifesto guarantees equal access to quality public services. Ladies and gentlemen, clean water, education, healthcare, energy, and public infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, National Unity Platform Manifesto got you in this our country that we are suffering with high rate of unemployment and poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, the new manifesto is going to create 10 million new jobs in this our country. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Unity Platform Manifesto got you all in this our country. Children that suffer with hunger in schools. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Unity Platform Manifesto is going to establish a public school feeding program to transform agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, what a manifesto.
Why? Put the priorities down. Put the priorities down. Comrades, yes.
Honorables, we still have much more. Not only the already outlined priorities of the manifesto, but our multi-party is also committed to tackle all issues on the land with the immediate effect. Strengthens our competition at global level in order to build and develop our country in the new Uganda.
James, Nani Uganda, natural resource management and technology.
Now, gentlemen, you made a very big mistake. We had trust in you. But since you decided to stand against the flag bearer, first of all, you violated all the party values. Think about the revolutionary discipline where you had to accept the results. No, you are no longer trusted. You lost the trustworthiness. You are no longer reliable, and you lost the integrity.
Talks about the obligation of you as a member of the party, that you have the obligation to abide and protect our party constitutions. And Article 5(c) also tells you that if anyone stands against the party flag bearer, there and then you cease to be a member of National Unity Platform.
Your candidate is no longer a member. That's the situation you are moving.
Yes.
We cannot obuse.
President Bobi atukobera tusibe ugaito sikutikinga engaito engaito byo wenga kose. Ladies and gentlemen, we have foreigners here.
For the people. NUP manifesto is the only way to go.
People power!
Who wants it?
I'm going to try it.
Next time better. Those are the alumni from our School of Leadership. Era okusoma kulungi. Buli yandikwanidde akakisa okusoma era essomero lyaffe ebyo bivuddemu mu ssomero lyaffe. We hope to expand the capacity of the school. Of course, it's regrettable that this government has ducted our leaders of the school, but at least you can see the value that comes of that out of that investment. We continuously tell you that the government we have currently is working against you, not for you. No one would not want to have a school which gives us such products, such levels of creativity. Naye tulowooza nti mwina abadde balaba mutegedde ensonga eziri mu manifesto yaffe. At this point, our time is fast spent, but also conveniently, we plan that when it reaches this time, we can present the popular school feeding program. So the next priority area is the school feeding program, which is going to be presented by our party treasurer, Honorable Benjamin Katana. You're welcome.
People power, our power, LUP, everywhere. You know, it's very dangerous to talk about feeding at a time when people are beginning to feel hungry. Take a short time. Mr. President, our distinguished leaders, and all of you citizens, fellow citizens gathered here, and those that are watching us from elsewhere. I am here to share one of the priority areas in our manifesto, which is about the school feeding program. As a nation, we have had the misfortune of being led by a group of incompetent and unambitious people who only measure success on the basis of the past. And as a result, they have made some sections of our society equal and ambitious. And when we present a very fine picture of how a new Uganda, the future will look like my colleagues have ably done, there are many people who doubt whether it will be implemented or not. The school feeding program is a multi-sectoral, multi-purpose, and multi-dimensional program that is intended to achieve about 4 objectives under the bigger idea of NUP's plan for improving the quality of life of Ugandans. Because a government which cares about its people, a government which is people-centered, will automatically focus on improving the quality of life of the citizens. So the first objective under this plan, the plan is basically about providing a meal to the school-going children
at primary level every day a hot meal that is nutritious. And of course we are going to do a survey, and the materials will be sourced from the homesteads in this country. So the first objective is to boost household incomes. And how do we intend to achieve this? We intend to elevate the household in Uganda into a production unit that will produce these raw materials that will be procured for purposes of feeding the children at school. If you are in an area, for example, that produces soya bean, and we know that it's a nutritious product that will help to boost the growth of these children, that will help to eliminate malnutrition-related diseases, then the investment will be in soya bean to make sure that the different households in that area are supported to produce soya bean, which will be procured by the school to feed the children. If you are from a fishing community and you have silverfish mukene, or you have fish, the investment of the NUP government will be in that sector to make sure that the households are able to supply the school with this product and earn money, but also feed the children. If you are from a milk producing community, and we have so many people who have been struggling with market for their milk to the extent that sometimes you see they are powering it, sometimes they are selling it at 200 shillings a litre, when in Kampala it is 2,000 a litre. We are going to provide a market at the nearest school. The government of NUP will procure the milk, feed your children will be healthy, but your pockets will also be healthy. The other aspect related to that, away from boosting the household incomes, is boosting agriculture. Agriculture is the leading employer in this country. However, it has not received sufficient support from government. And one of the challenges that the farmers face is the lack of market for their products. I've given you an example of milk, and there are several other examples where people are struggling to find market for their products. Sometimes they are even cheated by the middlemen and middlewomen, but also cheated by the so-called industrialists who are protected by the cartel whose ambition is only to extract money from the population. So now we want to create a market at the nearest school in your community to make sure that now your products will be sold to the school, you will earn money, your children will feed, and they will learn well. The other aspect related to that is fostering better learning environment. A hungry child cannot concentrate in class. By the statistics of government itself, today, the dropout rate in primary school is 68%. By implication, it means that out of 100 people who enroll in P1, 68 of those 100 don't complete P7. And that is a time bomb. And my colleagues have ably explained the other interventions that our government is going to come up with, including the increment on the capitation grant from the 6,000 per term to a more reasonable figure. But we are now also, in addition to that, going to introduce feeding of children at school so that people are not driven out of class by hunger to go to prison like the ones that the Honorable Mwanga was talking about. Even in school, you see, children are comfortable going to jail because they are assured of dinner. But now we want to make sure that they are comfortable going to school because they are assured of a meal, and a nutritious meal. Fellow citizens, the other intervention related to that is about the elimination of malnutrition. Every household in Uganda today spends a lot of money, and which money most households do not have, on meeting medical bills for taking children to hospital. And most of these children fall sick because of low immunity levels, because of poor feeding. So by feeding these children with a hot, nutritious meal every day, we are going to reduce the cost
of medical bills, significant amounts, by making sure that the children are healthy, they are feeding well, and they are learning. They are not missing school because they are sick, and the parents are not spending money they don't have on them to meet medical bills because they are healthier. And so many people have been asking, when we have been talking about this, the school feeding program, that how are you going to implement this? We intend to implement it through by working closely with PTA, the Parents Teachers Associations. Most of them under the current regime have collapsed, but we are going to work hard to make sure that we restore them, that we strengthen them, so they can be leading stakeholders working with government, but particularly working with the community development officers at the sub-county for purposes of coordination to make sure that this program is implemented. We are also going to make sure, especially in areas where production of these nutritious things is a little bit complicated because of climate and other things. And we have other interventions like irrigation that my colleagues have talked about. But we are also going to make sure that we strengthen the production unit of state agencies like Uganda prisons, so that they can be able to produce for some parts of the country that are not able to produce some of these products. And fellow citizens, this intervention also has a multiplier effect, in a sense that if the schools in a certain sub-county in Chusa are procuring eggs for the school, it means that even the person who makes the chicken feeds is going to get a business. It means that some young people are going to get jobs to work in the poultry farm. It means that some young people are going to get jobs to work in the feeds factory. So this program is comprehensive, and it is intended to cover a number of dimensions. How do we intend to do this? We intend to spend 1,500 on each student per day. And we are targeting 5 million children for the initial program. The total cost of this comes to around 1.5 trillion to implement this. And many people have been asking that where are you going to get 1.5 trillion from? My colleagues have given you a clear picture of what is happening in Uganda, and our president has been emphasizing that Uganda is a rich country, but we are poor. We are poor people. Because the statistics of the Inspectorate of Government have placed the money lost to corruption to about 9 trillion a year. And for us, we are looking for 1.5 trillion to feed our children. That is a very insignificant part of the money that is lost. We have been told about the mineral wealth that this country is blessed with. Our responsibility is to utilize the wealth for the benefit of the citizens. And so many people have been asking that there is a program going on called Parish Development Model. That how is it going to continue surviving under the NUP government? NUP government is a pro-people government, is a pro-development government. And what has not been managed well, our responsibility is to manage it well. The money that people are being given, for example, to go and invest in whichever they please, without training, without proper alignment with the market forces, for us we shall invest it in making sure that households produce food which will be procured by the schools in their communities. And by doing so, the little money that they are given will have a big impact, not just on their income, but on the health of their children and the health of the nation. I thank you.
Thank you so much. If you think that 1.5 trillion is a lot of money, remember that Uganda, under the NRM government, has since spent 1.24 trillion on Lubowa Hospital project, which remains a construction site at best. So the problem is not the lack of finances, it is the misuse of those finances. Thank you so much. we are going to welcome Madame Ramto Apio Flavia, who will present about how we are going to stop land grabbing, which we think is a very serious challenge in this country that has affected all the other forms of development, because we believe that land is a very crucial factor of production and any other form of development you want to do. She will also be joined by Miss Natalie Margaret, who will present about empowering regional and local governance. Thank you so much. I welcome the able ladies to come and present that quickly. Let's utilize the time that we have.
People power. Our power. People power. My name is Ramto Flavia Pio from northern Uganda, Omoro district. I bring you revolutionary greetings from all the villages of Omoro district. Firstly, because we are the first-hand victims of land grabbing in Uganda today. For many of us, for millions of Ugandans, if not all, we live in fear of losing our land, not to natural disasters, but to government officials and to many investors in the disguise of conservation. However, we bring a new Uganda. No wonder, us from northern Uganda are very eager for the new Uganda. We are eagerly waiting. It's 3 months now. And I assure you, it is protest votes up there. Since 2006, my brothers from the north can testify. The Uganda Wildlife Authority gazetted the areas of our power in the disguise of conservation, I repeat. And our people of Madi and Acholi were forcefully and bitterly convicted from their land. Many years later, they were given unsatisfactory compensation. This has led to a lot of people picking arms against each other. Madi and Acholi have lived together from the times of our ancestors. But after this, we saw a lot of us picking arms against each other. We saw us picking pounders, fighting each other. Convictions have become a big issue in northern Uganda because it has torn our communities apart. Not just the communities of Acholi, but the communities of West Nile, of Karamoja, of Lango. But here's the good news. The National Unity Platform that seeks election to government looks to address visible solutions to these pending issues. First, we seek to protect Milo land and tenants by enforcing legal safeguards for Milo land owners and tenants. We'll also look at secure customary land rights by reviewing current past land transactions and taking concrete steps to restore land to rightful owners. We're also looking at having registration of all land. From a small landowner in Amuru to a big landowner in Entebbe, all your land is registered, because why not? As young graduates, NUP also seeks to support us to use technology to establish a homegrown IT system using the blockchain technology that is a secure digital system. The graduates in the house, you need to be very excited because finally we shall have jobs in the new Uganda. This will accommodate registration of all land, I repeat, and they'll have no more forged and fraudulent titles. We're seeing a lot of people losing their land because the powerful and the people in the government are using fraudulent means to get titles. The National Unity Platform seeks with a bold vision on land rights where no one lives in fear of possible eviction, unhealthy conflict, fraudulent acquisition of titles, closing loopholes of land grabbing. Thank you so much, and people power, our power. Avoid down Dutch, Miko Malme Uganda, Miss Central Uganda, Mika Wayne Uganda. Anya Ramta Appeal Flavia, Aki Moro District. Team Wawilo to Manifesto Area 7, Maloro Loka Manungom, Padam, Ikumalme Uganda. Team Yuku, Lokangom, Uganda Wakanti. National Unity Platform, Kawati Wabikelu repair, mi palute del, piki kwani ngom palute del, ikimgang, piki kwani ngom palute del, Uganda, piki kwani ngom palute del, kawen, Uganda kan, afori nasa.
Kyelinda. twongere okuwujja ku lwa pulezidenti waffe. Okugonnogonna mukwano gwa kugenda mu Uganda mpya. Okuyagayaga kw'abantu bano ssebo Mr. President, nzikiriza bwe tubadde tufuna abayimbi twegatiddwako Sekretale Jeno waffe. Sekretale Jeno waffe Lewisi David Lubongoya wali wano.
Mr. President, tulina nnyo okutukkiririza mu kuzza obuyinza mu bantu abatukulembera mu bitundu mu local government. Mr. President, ogenda kukkiriza bakwanjulira abakulembeze abasookerwako wano bakansalas ku bitundu ebyenjawulo ne bakyapasons abantu babalabeko. Era nsaba abakulembeze abo bali sayidi eno mujje kubanga betusookerako wano. Naye nga twegambye buli ewayambulera kola ki? Buli ewayambulera kola ki? Akabonero tukamanyikamu manvuuli, manvuki, manvuki, tewali kikolanga manvuuli. Petulukira kasefuli akasaawa byosinga kwa akabonero ki? Ewali manvuuli kola ki? Abanasingira manvuuli mu birako pulezidenti amanye tuwemuli. Kakati abakulembeze baffe mu local government mujje okulembeze baffe abalabeko. Naye nga mu byonna eno bagiyita National Unity Platform. Kwata mu kifuba gambe National Unity Platform.
Nzikiriza nga local government leaders bange bwe bajja muyite wano bwe muti musimbe walirayo nga bwe bajja Mr. President nzikiriza nkulopere nti ettaka kuwulira disitulikiti ya Nakaseke erina amagombola 15 erina constituencies 3 omuli constituency ya Nakaseke South ekulemberwa omwagalo w'abangi Luta Maguzi Senapula. Ngenda kusaba kulw'okuyisa mu budde Mr. President onzikirize Registrar wange technical team ene kulemberwa Right Honorable Secretary General waffe ayanjule abantu be era mu bufu bwe bumu nga bakwasa obukulembeze bwaffe obwakkunga obuli wano kugenda mu lutabalo okutandika na leero ng'omaze okubakyajinga okunoonya obuwanguzi wonna ambulera kijinga.
People power! People power! Our power! NUP! Everywhere! Neyanziza nnyo neyanzeege akaseera kano akampeereddwa erinnya nze mulwanyi we Bukenya Ashraf Matumbwe nga nze Registrar owa Nakaseke South Constituency. Sebo Mr. President, newankubadde akaseera batuwadde kakwanjula bakulembeze, nsaba okkirize ku lw'abantu ba wansi ffe abalina okutuusa eddoboozi eri ggwe. So Mr. President, wano ne gy'oyise omukulu Museveni gye yalwanira, nsaba abali emabega musirikeko, abali emabega mubeeraawo musirikeko order oluvannyuma lw'okulwana. So Mr. President, bakitaffe baabalimba newankubadde baayamba omukulu oyo, naffe abaana be bayita abazzukulu babadde batulimba. Nsaba mugatte engalo tulabaze pulezidenti waffe okubasoma n'abasoma basoma kubawo okusoma. Omukulu pulezidenti Museveni kyakoze ekintu kimu, ajja n'akasawo k'ebijanjalo ka kilo 5 okukawa omwana w'omulwanyi enewaffe. Twamaliriza saba Mr. President, ffe abannakaseke tusaba tukole naawe endagaano. Endagaano gye tukola naawe yeeno. Abalwanyi bano ffe tetwagala sente z'abalwanyi ng'oliseemu. Biki bye twagala? Twagala enguudo ennungi ewaffe Nakaseke. Twagala ettaka lyaffe olikomyewo ery'abaana Nakaseke. Twagala obateekawo enteekateeka omwana okuba n'omulimu. So Mr. President, economic activity esinga nakaseke mu bawala bwa Kadaama, nkusaba otuteerewo embeera okulaba nti omwana munnayuganda tavaawa. Bw'onookola ekyo fe ab'Nakaseke mugambe tusimbudde. Tugenda wagira Museveni, tetugenda muddiza kalulu kaffe. Tugenda kuwagira His Excellency Kyagulanyi. N'olw'ebigambo ebyo kkiriza nkwanyulira abakulembeze abali wano nga bava e Nakaseke South. Tukulembeddwa Mutibwa Saamu okuva e Kaasangombe. Tulina omukulu muje Mutibwa Saamu yite wano. Tulina omulwanyi wa Matthew okuva mu Lulwe. Tulina omukulu Vincent naye. Tulina Zawede Resident Nakaseke Central. Tulina Namonge France naye ayise wano. Kiwanda Joseph Kitamulo Sambukawo. Olwo mumumanyisa budde wano. Tulina Falja okuva Kapeeka kansala waffe. Ouma Kapeeka. Namuli Prescom ya Kiwoko Central. Namuli Asante President waffe tumuwadde abalwanyi betwesiga. Waliwo abantu b'NRM abaagala okukozesa abataafuna bendera yaffe. Baligeswa wamwe tewaba wa Ambuleera bwe tuwakaki.
Speed abakulembeze mu local government district chairpersons mwenna muveeyo president
kusaba abalocal government
parliament mwenna mujja mweyanjule president abalabe nti mwazze.
People power! Our power!
Yenze fresh mayor Christian Joel Empologoma y'Eluweero olamira w'ekibuga eky'Eluweero.
People power!
Olaba Mangoli tikinga ab'Eluweero ffe twamuleeta ke kaseera tumutwale manena bugi simusongize. President Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu omwana wa Katonda omulamu ye president ow'ekkumi owa Uganda. Saagala okola ensobi tokola era.
People power!